Let's try smoking a brisket the Bar-A way. All right, so we're gonna be working with a whole pack of brisket, and all that means, I'm sure you guys know if you're watching this video, is it's the whole thing. It's the point and the flat. Now, the first thing I like to do is go ahead and trim down some of this decal. It's a big piece of fat. It's not gonna render. It's gonna be unpleasant if you try to eat it. So we're just gonna go ahead and trim that down. But don't throw it away because we're gonna use that to make our tallow. I'll link a video in the iCard above to show you exactly how I did that. Now, the next thing I like to do is go ahead and get rid of this mohawk piece. It's sticking straight up. It's gonna burn if you leave it on. So I like to go ahead and get rid of that. But again, nothing is going to waste. All of the trim I'm either using for tallow, or the meat I'll end up grinding up into burgers or something like that. Now notice how I'm going down and under. It's a scooping motion. This will help make sure that you don't have jagged edges or anything like that, because those like to burn. Now, you can get away with it on certain parts of the brisket. Like I'm cutting here, I'm cutting straight down. I'm not doing that scooping motion. But when it comes to a lot of the fat up at the top or the point side, you kind of want to do that scooping motion. That way you don't have any jagged areas. And when the brisket is cooking, the smoke has a nice aerodynamic surface to go over as it goes out of the stack. Now, you can spend as much or as little time as you want trimming this brisket up. We're not trimming for a competition. It's totally preference based when it comes to cooking in your backyard, you know. And again, I gotta stress, this is a very, very aggressive trim that I'm doing because it wasn't the best brisket. I just gotta reiterate that because I know I'm hacking this thing up, but I'm trying to get a uniform shape. That way it cooks evenly on my smoker. Now, I'm trimming this the night before I smoke it, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up in plastic and stick it in the fridge till the morning. Smoking day is here. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing out of this plastic and get it seasoned up. Now, the seasoning is gonna be extremely simple. It's just gonna be salt and pepper, or pepper and salt in this instance. I like to do the pepper first. But what I've read is that a lot of these restaurants, they say salt and pepper, but they're using seasoned salt, and that's the trick. So we're gonna go with the seasoned salt today. Now, of course, you can add garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, anything that you really want to add to your rub, you can add it. But again, I want to keep it simple because I want to taste the meat. Pause. I want to taste the smoke. I want to taste all of the time that we're putting into this food. I don't want it to be overshadowed with a whole bunch of seasoning. So again, we're going to keep it simple, but using that trick of using the seasoned salt. Not really a trick, but you know what I mean. Give it a flip and season the other side with the same exact seasonings. Got that bad boy all seasoned up. Let's go to the smoker. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The forbidden match light is used to get the fire started. You want to use about 1 to 2 handfuls of match light to get your fire going. I like to use these little tumbleweeds to speed up the process just a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and put a couple of these splits on top just to kind of preheat them. Now that the coals had a chance to get going, we're gonna go ahead and add our wood. We're gonna be making what they call over there a Bar-A, a bundle fire. Now, I'm making mine significantly smaller than what they do over there with their 1,000-gallon smokers, you know, but it's the same principle. And what I've gathered is the goal seems to be to create a smoldering fire that burns slow. So with our stack only open about 20% and our lower damper only open about 20%, we'll go ahead and throw our brisket on. And you want to position it to where the point is facing the fire first. We're gonna let this brisket just go at 200 degrees for as long as it needs until I like the color that I'm seeing. I'm definitely working on getting a great level thermometer. I just gotta stop being lazy and order it. I spent about 3 or 4 hours, and this is the first time I'm having to add a log. So far, I'm really impressed with this method. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna add enough logs to bump the temperature up to about 250 to 275, and we're gonna cook just until the brisket starts to come out of the stall. Think around 165, 170 degrees internal. Now that the brisket is coming out of the stall, it's at about 170, 175. We're gonna go ahead and foil tip the point and the flat and rotate the flat towards the fire. And we're gonna bump the temperature up one more time to about 275, 300 degrees. And we're gonna let it roll like that until it reaches an internal temperature of about 195 to 200 degrees. All right, the brisket has reached about 197 degrees internal, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it. We got some of this beef tallow that we made. I'm gonna go ahead and put a nice amount of that underneath of the brisket, and then we're gonna wrap it up nice and tight. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this rest on the counter until it reaches about 165 internal, let it kind of come down a little bit, and then it's going in for the long haul. It's going in for that long rest that is supposed to make this thing just fall apart. Well, not fall apart, but be super tender. So once the temperature drops to about 165, we're gonna go ahead and put it in our oven at about 170 degrees. That's the lowest that my oven goes. So we're gonna pop it in there at about 170 and let it go for 10 to 12 hours, holding at that temperature. The wait is over, the hold is finally over, and we're gonna go ahead and slice this thing. But before we do that, we're gonna hit the top of it with that beef tallow, that liquid gold. And you know I gotta test the brisket jiggle. Now I'm just going straight down the middle so we can get a look at that cross section. Look at that. I promise I am not trying to rage bait right here. This knife just was not cutting, but it was tender. We got some slices out of it, albeit atrocious. We got the slices out of it. So overall, I would say the Bar-A method of cooking the brisket was probably one of the most enjoyable cooks that I've had so far, smoking a brisket. The flat could have been a little bit more tender, but I think that was just the result of the brisket being a choice cut and not the best quality. I also forgot to film that part, got a little too excited. It is what it is. But I know you guys saw me struggling cutting that point. Got a sharper knife. We're good now. We should be good. I fell in love with my offset because I loved working the fire. There are some days when you don't really feel like babysitting a smoker all day long or all night long. This method right here gets you out of that. And I'll definitely be doing this again in the future when I want to cook a brisket, but I don't want to babysit. But that's it for now. If you guys like the video, hit it with a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, all that YouTube stuff. And I'm going to be doing a lot more long form videos here moving forward. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll see you guys next time.